This young woman needs no introduction, but I have to for the sake of me answering the phone. Talking with Lady Gaga. How are you doing, my love?
Hello, how are you?
I'm thinking right about now, probably going to have to call our phone provider because we had off the air the most awkward exchange where we kept on hanging up on each other back and forth.
I know. Are you there? Are you
Like,
there?
hello?
Can you hear me?
I think it's time for us to go Team Blackberry now.
Yeah, I was Team Blackberry for a long time.
I gotta say, this is such a joy, such an honor to be able to not only talk to someone who is as accomplished as you are as an artist, but just someone who is truly one of the most humble human beings on the face of this earth.
You're so nice. That's very sweet. What a one. I'm going to call you everyone.
But I mean it from the bottom of my heart. As a little monster myself, as someone who has watched your career just really continue to grow and blossom into something that has become iconic. How amazing is it for you to know that all the hard work, all the amazing opportunities that you have afforded yourself now are coming based off of the strength that you've had to continue to persevere, you know?
You know, I'm just really, really happy to be here. And I say that all the time, but it's true. I wake up every morning and I still pinch myself because 5 years ago I was in a teeny tiny apartment on the Lower East Side, just trying to get somebody to let me play a show on a Friday night or a Saturday when there'd be a big crowd. And I was a hustler, and I still am. I love fighting for my spot, and I love being a performer. And I'm just really thrilled and excited. And we shot well, I shouldn't say too much, but we're in the process of creating the album cover right now, and even that is just everything's just become something else for this album based on who we're working with, and I'm just so happy, and I couldn't be more grateful to all the radio jockeys that have supported me, like yourself, and the radio stations and programmers, and it's a dream come true because I know I don't make necessarily always radio-friendly music. I'm always trying to bend pop music.
Well, you're doing one hell of a job, and let's just say that, first off, with Art Pop a couple of, about a month and a half away here, and Applause, kind of, coming to us a little bit sooner than you may have wanted it, because,
yes.
God, dude, it's got to be like a double-edged sword, and I was just listening to our dear buddy Elvis. I mean, I love Elvis to death, as you do too, and in the interview when you were talking with him, you say that you were kind of like, you wanted to put together this full package for us to get the visual along with the audio. So how difficult was it for you to get that call? Somebody kind of let this slip. Was that like a punch to the gut or what?
Well, it wasn't a slip. It was a hacker, actually. And it's terrible because the Bureau of Investigation has to prosecute these people, and it makes me upset. Obviously, I'm sure they're always fans, but hacking is serious. But either way, I was excited for the fans to hear the song, but no, I was not excited that it was leaking because what I do is theater. So
yes.
It's sort of like going to a theatrical show and you hear the music, but none of the actors come on the stage. But you can hear them talking, and it's just sort of a
like
blank
lights.
stage.
Can you put the lights up, please? Let's see something.
I think earlier on in my career, people always used to say, do you think people focus too much on the clothes and not enough on the music? And I said, well, yes, and some people focus too much on the music and not enough on the clothes. It's for me, it's definitely. I mean, I don't necessarily even want to say 50-50, but they're both equally as important, and then you add in the element of the fans and the live show, and all of those things make up who I am. I'm definitely not interested in putting them out separately. So I really wanted our return to be art pop, seeing the art and hearing the pop at the same time. But it's okay because they saw it yesterday, and everybody's adding the record now at radio. And I'm just very, very happy.
Well, I mean, it's a smash. It's another hit, and I think I've said the same thing when I was talking to a friend of yours, Katy Perry. You girls are not good at writing songs that suck, like that are not awesome.
Thank you. I'd like to be not good at that. One thing I'd like to not be good at.
I want to shift gears a little bit to something I know it's something that really means a lot to you and what you stand for. Born This Way, just really being this foundation for equality. And I just want to know, with particularly the song Same Love from Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, I want to know personally, how big was that smile on your face when you first heard that record and knew that it was a way that this country was starting to shift its mind and its focus to something that is extremely, extremely positive and extremely open-minded?
It makes me so happy to hear music like this on the radio and to hear artists expressing themselves in a very real and honest way. And also radio supporting that. I mean, it's incredible, and it shows how far we've come. It's always been important to me to, mobilize my fans and their dreams into the reality of my music, and that's why I wrote Born This Way. I felt like I couldn't make any other album than that album. I cared not for my success anymore. I cared not about being anything other than a role model for my fans to be passionate about their equality, be passionate about acceptance and bravery, and to have traveled the world doing that and then come home and months later hear music like this on the radio. It makes me smile. This is where we should be.
Speaking of your fans, I'm going to throw two. We got bombarded with questions from Little Monsters. I mean, they are so passionate.
I love Little Monster
so
questions.
Awesome. And this is from our fans and a dear friend of the show in Brazil. He texted in the question, actually. This kid must have dialed 19 digits to get this question our way. My buddy Mateus, he wants to know, what is it that you have up your sleeves as far as you did tease a little something about your Brazilian Little Monsters? Art Pop Tour? You're going to be hitting the world sometime soon?
Well, I'm really excited about the iTunes Music Festival.
Yes.
We're performing from London at the Roundhouse, and I'm going to perform new music while I'm there, which I'm really excited about because I really wanted to lead with the records this time and not just have, rely on the singles. I wanted people to hear the music before they bought the album.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny the age we live in that's considered a radical idea to want to play people the music before they buy it?
Before they buy it.
I'm on the phone with my record label trying to explain to them why it's a good idea, and it's bizarre.
Really?
But I'm very excited about that because people should be able to hear the product that they're going to buy and before they see it, and this way I get to perform it, which is exactly what I'm talking about. I get to show the theater behind the album and show the sentiment, and there's a lot of philosophy in this album, and my other records were more concept albums in terms of the subject matter.
Yeah.
Whereas Art Pop is much more about a philosophy of love, and when we come together, the House of Gaga and I, we create these beautiful things, and we don't know quite how to describe them. We just know when it's right. We're making, a photo shoot, filming something, dance rehearsal, and then all of a sudden we go, that's it, and everybody says it at the same time, and we always know when it's right, and it's that love that brings art culture into pop music and makes them belong together. And like I said, it's funny, the assumptions that people have about pop music or that, that I shouldn't be artistic, that I should just make records, that I should just be pretty, that I should just, and that is where people start with pop musicians or with the pop stars. That's the assumption. And for me, it's I like making people uncomfortable. I like making people say, she thinks she knows something. Well, I do know something. I know quite a lot, actually. And just because my kids are in the way doesn't mean I'm not smart.
You're making us feel. You're bringing out different emotions, and there's nothing more rewarding than to listen to a song that, sometimes makes you cry, that sometimes makes you cringe, because you're getting that emotion, and it's an emotion that, maybe you're not comfortable bringing out yourself. So to have someone like you be able to tap on those emotions, those feelings, and make us feel by your music, that leads me to this next question from Romina Fuentes. How amazing is it, the writing process, to know that you're making this music and making us feel?
I love the songwriting process. It's the thing that saved me on this tour. I was very exhausted on this tour, and especially when I started not feeling well towards the end and not really knowing why, because everything was breaking in my body.
Yeah.
It's the songwriting that saves me, and I'm able to channel the energy of the audience. It's very intense. It's very intense capturing all of that energy, whether it's 11,000 people or 15,000 people or 75,000 people. That's what was really great about the Born This Way Ball. We played for all different kinds of venues. I'm really channeling the energy that I get from the fans every night into the records, and I don't like to say therapy, because quite honestly sometimes writing music makes me feel mental, but it's more of it's a channeling experience. It's a funneling experience. I'm actually able to put all that energy into a place other than my ego, which I don't wish to put it there, because that's
not who you are.
That's never been the driving force with my music. I don't really care if people think I'm beautiful or great or number one. I care that people find it interesting. I care that people watch it and think that it's different. I care that people see it and feel something completely alternative to what they're used to feeling in the space of pop. So with Applause, for example, this record was designed to sort of bemuse and confuse and then explode into a chorus that reminds us why we love to listen to pop music at all, which is it's that chorus that is that sing-along thing that everybody in the world can sing along, no matter what language we speak. It's that thing that ties us all together. It's that love.
Well, it's that iconography in motion, as you said, about this video, about this song. And I want to say that we care as fans, as Little Monsters, as radio people, that you care so much about your product. And that, I believe, is the very best thing that any artist can really do, is give 150%, like you have always done since the days of trying to get that hustle on where you had to go into a bar and just like, yo, can I get this open mic night, to now opening up for the VMAs and you know, performing for millions. It's truly a blessing to be along this ride with you, and we thank you for just always being true to who you are. Seriously.
Thank you so much. But you know, I feel every artist should do that. And I remember when I first came out, one of the biggest criticism I got was that I was trying too hard, and I would hope that we try hard.
Yeah, you kind of want to try hard.
I make a lot of money doing what I do, because everyone wants to just come easy. It doesn't. It doesn't come easy for anyone. And every legend that you've ever witnessed in the past, there was an element of discipline and rehearsal to what they did, and that's where I learned it from. I learned it from being a theater kid and wanting to study the greats and understand their process. So I put a lot of thought. I put so much into every moment of every day, because there's no amount of gratitude that I could ever say to my fans and to the world for how they've received me and given me a voice. The only way I can thank them is by making great things.
Well, I'll tell you, before we let you go, lastly, I had a buddy of mine who was just on a flight from L.A. to New York with all your dancers, with all your Little Monsters, and he was trying to, trust me, I was texting him, I was trying to get some juice about the amount of hard work that it goes into performing on something like a show like the VMAs, but they have all just said your work ethic. He was like, yo, they're not telling me anything, but they just know that they're about ready to get off this plane and go and work their asses off. So,
those dancers they're an army. I was speaking to them the other day about how pop music has changed, and I said, look, we're not just performers anymore. I said we're gladiators. I said they love to see us suffer and tear each other apart. They love to pit us against one another, and negativity in the press is like at a place that it has never been before.
It's disgusting.
But it's not just for me, honestly. It's for everyone. I mean, you can't read a nice thing about anyone anymore.
True. Yeah.
And it's awful. It's so awful. I mean, what happened to having respect for the performer? What happened to it being a privilege to be able to go see theater? It's the press is ruining the sentiment and the elegance of the music industry. So I said, look, we have to revive this sentiment of sophistication in theater, but at the same time, you must recognize that you are a gladiator, and we're here to fight, and they're here to see us battle one another and see who will be beheaded first.
They are loyal gladiators, because I promise, I was like, a costume, can you give us an Instagram picture of what the shoes look like? Nothing. I got nothing.
You hell no.
I got
That's
nothing.
a no. I'm so sorry. I have a piece of broccoli in my mouth. I'm sorry. I feel so rude.
Spitting at me, dude. Oh my gosh, that's what's cool is that you're just you. You've always been, you always will be, and that continuing, that just internal strength is just it's relentless, and it's just unwavering.
I do not wish to be successful as anyone but myself. If I had to sing songs I didn't like or perform wearing things or being things I didn't like, I have no interest in that. I can't live without doing what I do, and if that means everybody watching or maybe being in a small club downtown, so be it.
Keeping it real, I want to get, if I can get that, remember I'm telling my producer in here, rewind that so I can get that tattooed on my ribs, because that would be sexy. That would be sexy.
Don't do it on the ribs. That's very painful. I have a lot of tattoos. Go for an area with more flesh.
I love you to death. I swear, man. Congratulations on everything. Cannot wait for November 11th. Already got my pre-order on, mama. Just going to tell you that much. And here's I'm raising an air glass to the sky for just a tremendously successful rest of your career. And this isn't going to be the last time we get the chance to chat. And I just thank you.
I'm raising my Diet Snapple.
There it is.
Well, make sure that when you're in the crowd that you don't forget to put your hands up and make them touch.
I will not. I will not. We're applauding for that one right there. Lady Gaga, ladies and gentlemen, you're the best, my love. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.